Current mode, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Spirit of Beverly Bolden YouTube Tarot Card Reading channel. Today I'm going to talk about monitoring spirits, but not from the perspective of the monitoring spirits being the subject. At my YouTube Tarot Card Reader channel, the subject is always about you. Once again, I don't use traditional tarot cards because I don't want there to be any enigma or question as to what the cards are telling you about yourself. That's my assignment, if you will. So I decided to talk about monitoring spirits because I was looking at the algorithms and it was so many videos from other tarot card readers about monitoring spirits, and I'm not going to say that they were all saying the same thing, but they were giving off the same type of energy, right? And well, let's just see what monitoring and monitoring spirits mean. So monitoring means to observe and check the progress or quality of something or someone over a period of time, to keep under systematic review, right? And so the overview of a monitoring spirit gets darker because in the first explanation or definition, monitoring can just be, you can be monitoring a cake or monitoring your employees at work, right? Which is something that is, it makes sense. But monitoring spirits with regards to what I'm discussing is a spirit, and spirit means breath or intent, or demon or person, is a certain being that has enough time to waste by looking for an opportunity to hurt a person's feelings, destiny, life, threaten a person's faith, and also take away his or her dreams, or even to unaliven. So if you're watching tarot card pulls about monitoring spirits over and over and over again, and if you in fact know that this is something that is happening to you, that's going to affect your root chakra. That's about safety and security, right? It's going to start messing with your mindset, right? Because now you are, whether you can see the person or not at all times, you are watching them watch you, if you will, with your intuition, which is, as I discussed in my last video, an ascendant way of dealing with the sixth chakra. The third eye is to be using it to look inside of you, right? But if you're worrying about monitoring spirits, now their energy presumably is taking up space within your temple, even when they may or may not be asleep or doing something else. So for that reason, I have three stones that I'm using with this reading. And the first one is smoky quartz. And smoky quartz is the stone of power. It counters fear, overcomes depression, brings about emotional stability, while facilitating positive, practical thinking with clear insight. I just want to move the camera over a little bit, right? It's a grounding stone that benefits the root chakra. So once again, that's about safety and security, because if you feel like you're being watched all the time, you may become paranoid. It gives you an energetic, good position to receive ample positive vibrations. And I'm just going to make a note about that because that's the direction I'm going with regards to this reading, right? The other stone that I have is amazonite, right? And that stone is the stone of the heart and the throat chakra. Amazonite has a soothing effect on the nervous system. It soothes tense and aggravated situations to enhance love. So if you feel like you're being monitored, that's going to dysregulate you over a period of time. And it's also going to make you tense, and it's going to aggravate your life force energy, right? So I'm going to highlight that because this reading is about, it says here to enhance love, but for the purposes of this reading, it's to enhance self-love. And then the last stone that I have, where are you hiding? Okay. That's the lapis lazuli, and that's for the throat chakra. So we have the throat chakra with the amazonite, and then we have the throat chakra with the lapis lazuli, and then we have the heart chakra with the amazonite, right? So lapis lazuli is associated with properties of indigo crystals, which is closely connected to one's mental awareness, activates the higher mind, enhancing intellectual ability, stimulates the desire for knowledge and truth. And I'm just going to highlight that. To one's mental awareness, activates the higher mind. So with this reading, I want to look at the monitoring spirit as a benefit. If someone is monitoring you systematically or over a period of time, checking back to see what your progress is, that means that there's something about you or within you that is worth checking up on, right? So this reading is going to assist you in using your higher mind to override that part of your mind, your psyche, that is worrying about somebody else watching you, and allow you to find out the truth and the knowledge about what it is in you that they are observing or seeing about you that could get you ahead, that is cultivating your faith, that is feeding your dreams, that is making your feelings about yourself worth trying to hurt, right? Because I don't mean to be crude, but if you see a pile of shit on the street, you're not gonna observe it. You're not gonna come back systematically to see what the progress of it. But if you see, maybe for lack of a better analogy, a cake being baked, or your mama or your papa in the kitchen cooking, you want to know, when is it going to be ready? When is it going to be ready? Now, if you're a scoundrel, you're going to keep slamming the door because you want the cake to drop. But that's kind of the energy of the monitoring spirit. But the point being that there is something precious to come back and check out and see. So those are the stones. I have no idea why I'm getting this itching fest going on. But that's what I want to look at with regards to the monitoring spirit, and let it point us back towards ourselves. So I'm using my regular deck. I'm using the New Orleans Oracle deck. I'm using the Herbal Astrology deck. And I'm using the Body Tarot deck. And I'm going to use the Starseed Oracle deck last because I want to examine this part of you that the monitoring spirit is watching you from a 3D realm, because it really is a lower vibrational energy that would be doing this instead of going and reading a book or doing something to empower their own self. So we'll take it from there, and I'm going to start with the New Orleans Oracle deck. And don't forget to push the like button and subscribe if it pleases you. I appreciate you watching. So you jump back down. Oh, I know what it is. Do I want all those cards? Okay, I put some patchouli and vetiver oil around my nose, and that's what it was. So we've got success, that looks very much like sacral chakra, root chakra, and solar plexus energy with the yellow, red, and orange, right? And then we've got learning, and then we've got growth. Excuse me. This is the raw, unfiltered version. Might as well have a sip of coffee too. Success, learning, and growth. Now I'm going to go to the body tarot. And I'm playing 528 hertz sound frequency music today. That is for the solar plexus. The solar plexus, once again, is the yellow, and that's about doing, right? So what is the monitoring spirit or the monitoring spirits thinking that you are capable of doing? And this says for 528 hertz for positive transformation. So what does the monitoring spirit see that you have the ability to positively transform in your life that you are not looking at because your mind is busy looking at, what's that song? I've been watching you, watching me. Which means it ain't nothing getting done, right? And let me see. One of these is about ego. Yeah, the color yellow related to power, will, determination. The chakra of the ego is also the solar plexus. So some of you could be like, yeah, they watching me, all they doing is watching me. That's the ego. Because it's almost like you sounding like you're complaining, but your ego is like, yeah, they sweating me, but they sweating you because you got something in you that's great that you're not even looking at. So we want the higher self to override what the ego is going through, vanity. One more time. So here we got the body tarot. You jumped back to the high priestess, the arteries, mystery. So it seems that either because your ego is getting in the way or because fear of the monitoring spirits is getting in the way, learning about what the monitoring spirits are seeing energetically is prohibiting you from growth, It's prohibiting you from learning through insight, intuition within your own temple, and then therefore preventing you from being successful, which is potentially what a monitoring spirit is also trying to do, right? And then this mystery is represented by not only the high priestess, but the arteries, and the arteries have a much stronger pulse than the blood. Not the arteries, but the blood going through the arteries has a much stronger force than the blood going through the veins, right? So we're going to put that there, and then we're going to do the herbal astrology, right? So we've got these, and these. I'm going to go one more time. Let's see what the herbs got to say, what the plants got to say, what Mother Nature has to say about what. Hey, you come back here. You too come back. You. Really? All of y'all? Okay. So we got ashwagandha, which is purpose. We got rose. So here we got ashwagandha, and the number is 54, which means completion. That's 54 is 9, which means completion. 9 is the last number. After 9 is 1 again. It's 10, but it's 1 again, right? So 9 is about, it has gone through every number, everything that has been said, that has been needed to be said, has been said, right? And now it's time for action. And then we have ayahuasca, which is 50. 5 is the number of grace, right? And then we have skullcap, which is stillness. So what's cool about all 4 of these cards coming out is that they all came out upright. So that tells me, by just looking at this off the cuff, is that your growth, your rebirth, your learning about your purpose will not only lead you to success, but it's also going to lead you to love. And normally I would say that this is about self-love, but I'm seeing 2 hands, right? One dark and one light. That is your shadow self and your authentic self, or your conscious self, holding hands as one, right? And if you can see here, there were droplets of blood falling down from a heart that has been shot with an arrow, right? And what that says to me, that although there are energies that may be sending you spiritual attacks or monitoring you or sending witchcraft or even on a physical realm attacking you physically, that by uniting your shadow self or your subconscious or the mysteries about the force that you have within inside of you will allow you to be able to withstand any attacks. I'm also picking up that even though I said this is about you, I am feeling some type of romantic energy. So some of you may be on the verge of coming into romantic relationship. It seems that by going through this growth and learning about exactly what gifts, talents, or value that you have within, those things will manifest almost instantaneously with regards to an integration between your lower and your higher self, and once again potentially romance. I want to see what my other deck says before I go to the star seeds, if I even use the star seeds. So this is my cynical deck. Right. Well, that came right up. Cultivate in a Buddha. Have a beautiful day. That's one. So, stillness is what's going to be necessary for you to find out all these things. Right? You don't have to be a Buddhist to meditate. Right? And that can just be music or art or whatever it is that gets your mind into a state of stillness. Right? And then let's see what this other deck. This is the deck that my shadow self admires. No shame. My shadow self favorite expletive is the F-bomb. It's just the truth. Right? Let's see what it says though. Okay. Where you at? Okay. So what we have is, woo! It says, I am my own best friend. Other people are total dicks. That's how you should feel about the monitoring spirits. Like the card, like my definition said, they don't have any other time on their hands but to watch you. Right? Excuse me. But to just watch you. Right? Wow. I gotta take a sip of coffee off that. So now let's see what the New Orleans book has to say about what we pulled. And for some reason I'm guided to show you this skull cap, right? You see the two halves of the same face. Yeah, this reading is about you. The two halves of the same face. I will never put patchouli and vetiver around my nose again. Jesus. Excuse me, Christ consciousness. And then you have the scorpion here. Right? That's transformation. Okay. And then this, I don't know if this is lilac or lavender, but that reminds me. I'm going to say it's lavender because I did want to put some lavender essential oil on my hands while doing this while doing this reading. So let's see what the New Orleans Oracle deck has to say about this. I want to start with success. So it says, success can often feel like a fleeting goal if we become too fixated on accomplishing a specific outcome in a specific way. True success is not measured by outer accomplishments, but by inner feelings that indicate personal growth and movement in the right direction. So by having stillness and meditating, it says that indicate personal growth, right? And that was one of the cards. And if you see here, it says growth, and she's holding her womb, which is going to be the root chakra, the sacral chakra, and the solar plexus, right? So by going to your lower 3 chakras, which let's not say is lower vibrational energy, but very primal energy, which was also reflected by success, you're going to be able to find out the mystery of what it is that the monitoring spirits are watching and observing you, to find out the progress you're making. They know who you are. Do you know who you are? That's what I'm picking up. This card has shown up in your reading because although you may not yet have reached your goal in its entirety, there are many smaller milestones, signs, and opportunities you have experienced that are proof you have been on the right track. So you've been doing your work. You've been doing a lot of work. And you're not realizing that, as my mother used to say, may she rest in peace, do a little bit at a time, Beverly, do a little bit at a time. You're not realizing that the little bit of things, that the little steps that you're taking, rather, are actually leading you towards your goal. By remembering to take a moment to appreciate and celebrate these large and small markers, the energy of gratitude and inspiration will eventually lead you to where you want to be. So instead of taking time to worry about monitoring spirits and other people who are watching you, possibly criticizing you, doing things that are making you lose faith in yourself, pay attention to the little steps that you are taking. Pay attention to the learning about yourself and your gifts that you are discovering, the mysteries that are unfolding about the powerful force that you have within you. It may help you realize that you may already be there and are ready for something new. I'm picking up that energy of the romance in this card, right? So that's a success card. And so let's go to the learning. So it says, the more you know, the more you realize how much there is left to learn. The more that you find out and discover about yourself, the more you realize how much there is left to learn. So the more that you know about yourself, the more mystery there is about you. So what the mountain spirits see about you is that your love, your success, your growth, your rebirth, and your purpose has levels to it. It's like when you're playing a video game and you unlock one level and then there's even more than what you already defeated. That's what they see about you, that the higher up you go, the more abundance you have, not externally, but internally. And that's why they're watching you. You are currently in a learning and growth cycle that will lead you in the direction you desire, which is for love and for success and for growth. So even as you do these things, even as you meditate on these things, as the card before said, you're already there and don't know it, but you do. During this time, you will be more aware of patterns and synchronicities, especially within yourself. Everything is inside your heart and your lower three chakras, and inevitably in your throat chakra for you to speak to yourself about yourself. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is... Although you might be tempted to tell yourself that you already know, there is a difference between understanding something on an intellectual level and understanding something on an emotional or intuitive level. So that's part of the mystery concerning you, about you. You are overthinking as opposed to using your heart to know and using your third eye, your sixth sense, to go inside and truly discover the mysteries. Right? There are many times that knowing something intellectually gets confused with truly getting it. So sometimes when we thinking something that we should feel, the answer doesn't come out correct. A lot of times when I'm doing my one-on-one spiritual counseling with my clients, especially if it's an air sign, because air signs are about mental energy, and I'll ask them how do they feel, and I'll see their eyes just go up into the head. I said, no, not how you think you feel. How do you feel? So they have to cut off your thinking and come down here to your heart and get the answer. And they're like, oh wow, it's two different answers, right? To understand something in its entirety, it is necessary to have both a willingness to process and accept